You're watching Merrimack TV, which is the branded name for the town of Merrimack's media division. We record gavel-to-gavel coverage of nearly every municipal board and committee meeting, school board and budget committee meetings as well. We have a community TV studio where your neighbors and nonprofit groups express themselves and keep you informed through media. Merrimack TV covers a variety of community events like Merrimack Varsity High School sports, concerts, and local happenings. We also produce segments like our Merrimack Moments that shine a spotlight on the people, places, and events that make our community special. You truly are special, and we thank you for watching Merrimack TV tonight. Tonight, we're presenting live election night coverage, and as we await results from the town moderator, Lynn Christensen, we're pleased to present some special programming. In just a few moments, you're going to be joined by Finley Rothaus, one of our town councilors, with the chairman of the Town Center Committee, Nelson Disco. You're going to watch a PSA on how to properly dispose of your sharps at the Merrimack Transfer Station. You're going to hear a beautiful rendition of America the Beautiful from the Merrimack High School Concert Band. But right now, let's take a look at the Hot Dogs for ALZ event that was organized by Bob Bergen in this Merrimack Moment.
As the summer solstice rolls around, the sun doesn't go down until well after 8 p.m. This was the inspiration for The Longest Day, a nonprofit encouraging people to use that light to fundraise and fight the darkness of Alzheimer's. In Merrimack, that takes the form of Hot Dogs for ALZ. Organizer Bob Bergen explained why he chose hot dogs.
It's a memory. Everyone knows ketchup, mustard, relish. Where were they? Who were they with? What kind of thing does it mean to them? And the important thing is Alzheimer's affects the cognitive memory, the capacity to understand things, to understand where things are in their life, where things aren't. And as I've worked in the field for 6 years, I understand a lot more now.
It couldn't have been a better day for hot dogs, too. Kids, grandparents, and everyone in between came out to enjoy the nice weather and raise money for a good cause. This was the first year with a drive-through option, too. Many local businesses also came out in support of the event, in addition to the town's fire department. Members of the town council volunteered their time to the cause, and even Governor Chris Sununu made an appearance and grabbed lunch with residents. Merrimack Town Manager Paul McCallie thanked him for coming by.
Mr. Newman, thank you for coming to Merrimack.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you coming to this event and supporting the Alzheimer's events in Merrimack and the Longest Day.
I tell you, this event is awesome. I mean, every year, the sun just happens to come out. Every year, people flood out here. They put money to a great cause, thousands of hot dogs, and as you can tell, people are having a ball. It's going to be here all day. But this community just knocks it out of the park every single time. And we're able to sign a piece of legislation today, right here in Merrimack, and make sure that we're providing the right respite care with funds and money to make sure that we're addressing it. So still more work to do, to be sure, but I tell you, this community knocks it out of the park with the Longest Day program every single year.
In the 7 years of the event, they've raised over $35,000, and this year was another smash success. Alzheimer's may be dark, but as this event shows, when Merrimack comes together as a community, our light is pretty bright. Thank you for watching.
I'm going to play what I consider the most beautiful arrangement of America the Beautiful, arranged by Carmen Dragon. I hope you enjoy it.
When you're taking out the trash, it's not always clear what goes where. Medical sharps, like insulin, can be especially tricky. While you can't throw them out with the rest of your trash, the Merrimack Transfer Station has you covered. Here's how to properly dispose of your household-generated sharps, courtesy of the NHDES. Enclose them in a rigid, puncture-resistant container, like a laundry detergent bottle. Securely tape the tightly screwed cap of the bottle with a heavy-duty tape, like duct tape. Label the container Medical Sharps Container, not for recycling. The NHDES also has a label you can tape to the container with clear packing tape on their website. After that, you can take your container of sharps to the Merrimack Transfer Station and staff will help you dispose of it. Remember, never throw loose sharps into the trash or toilet. Never leave sharps anywhere that they could injure someone. Never store used sharps in glass bottles, soda bottles, milk jugs, aluminum cans, coffee cans, or plastic bags. And never put containers with used sharps in a recycling bin. Thank you for disposing of your sharps safely, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for joining us today on Become Involved, a series focused on the community's boards and committees. My name is Finley Rothaus. I'm the Town Council Liaison to the Town Center Committee, and with me today is the Chairman of the Town Center Committee, Nelson Disco. Nelson, thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you, Finley. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk about the Town Center Committee.
Very good. Well, let's go start with a good place to begin, and that's, would you explain what the committee's about and what its purpose is?
Well, the committee was formed about 10 years ago, Finley. It was chartered by the town council. We were established by the town council, and our charter was to implement the results of what was called at that time, the ITRAC study that was performed by the National Regional Planning Commission for the town of Merrimack at the behest of the Merrimack Town Council. So that's what got us started, and we've been working at it ever since.
Very good. Would you be able to talk about the membership and what type of commitment might be entailed in being a member of the committee?
Yes, Finley, we have slots for 9 members, and right at the moment I think we have 8, and counting one that's a new volunteer. So we have a representative for the town council, which is yourself, of course. We have a representative from the SAU, Matt Chevenel. We have a representative from the Public Works Department, Kyle Fox. We have Nicholas LaValle. We're very fortunate to have him on board from the media group. And we have some other volunteer citizens. Karen Freed represents the Merrimack Public Library. And Karen Contos of Citizen at Large, representing the town of Merrimack. Also on the committee is Bill Cummings and Bill Wilkes.
So there's one more position that...
There's still an opening, yes.
Oh, very good. What type of experience or skills might be necessary in order to be on the committee?
Well, I would say all you need really is an interest in the town and trying to make something happen here for the future of the town, for the good of the town and the good of all the town's people. That's why most of us do this.
Yes, no, you're right. Nelson, are there a couple of examples or an example or two you might be able to give of the work that has been performed by the committee in recent times?
Well, our most recent success, if you will, has been the addition of a sidewalk on Woodbury Street. That was developed just this past year. And we also have a much larger project in process called the Sauhegan River Trail, which will be a walking trail that will go from Watson Park in Merrimack up to Wildcat Falls. It'll go under Route 3 through an old sluiceway for the mill, and we'll provide a walking path all the way up there. We also have a piece that was built by the Merrimack Rotary Club, and that connects Abbey Griffin Park down to Route 3. It's a walkway and pathway that's been put in there. So those are the major pieces that have been completed, and we've got a lot more to do to fill in the sidewalk infrastructure in the town center.
Great. Would you be able to describe where the town center is?
Yeah, that's a good question. Everybody asks, everybody comes to town, says, where's the town center? And it's a good question. And Merrimack was really 3 little villages or 4 little villages that sort of came together under one big geographic umbrella called the town of Merrimack. And so the town center, as we've defined it in our master plans for the town, is the area of town that is north of the Rite Aid pharmacy and south of the Front Street, along Route 3, and then east of the Effie Everett Turnpike, as far as the river, between the Effie Everett Turnpike and the river. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the town has changed quite a bit, and while we maybe didn't have a center for years, it's starting to materialize as one, which is very good.
Yeah.
Well, one last question, if you might. What do you think the committee's most important topic of discussion has been in the past year?
Well, we've discussed a lot of things. One of our difficulties is getting funding for our various projects. The ITRAC study that I spoke of defined 8 or 9 pieces of sidewalk that were missing in the town center that are needed to make connected loops among them. And so our major topic has been to figure out what we can do and where we can get funding to make those things happen. So that's been our
very good
big project.
Well, thank you very much, Nelson. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you for joining us today on Become Involved, a series that focuses on the community's boards and committees. If you would like to learn more, please visit the town's website at merrimacknh.gov and become involved.
And that was Become Involved, a new series here on Merrimack TV. You just watched Town Councilor Finley Rothaus interview Nelson Disco from the Town Center Committee. Before that, we saw a PSA to teach you how to properly dispose of your sharps at the Merrimack Transfer Station. Of course, before that, we heard a wonderful rendition of America the Beautiful by the MHS Concert Band. Outstanding work. That was one of Patricia Cunningham's final concerts at Merrimack High School. She was the music director there for a couple decades, and it was a real treat to work with her, and we're wishing her successor, Miss Bunny, who was previously at the James Mastrocola Upper Elementary School. She's now the band director at Merrimack High School. And we look forward to working with Bunny and recording more Merrimack High School concerts this upcoming school year. We get a kick out of that. And of course, before that, you watched a Merrimack Moment about the Hot Dogs for ALZ event that was organized by resident Bob Bergen, who's also part of the nonprofit group The Longest Day. And they've been doing that event for a few years now, and they've raised quite a few money for the Alzheimer's Association. I think not just of New Hampshire, I think the national organization as well. Perhaps I got to watch that Merrimack Moment myself again. You are watching our election night coverage. I'm Nicholas LaValle, the Town of Merrimack's Media Services Coordinator. If you're new to Merrimack TV is the branded name for the Town of Merrimack's media division. We record gavel-to-gavel coverage of nearly every municipal board and committee meeting, school board, budget committee, and we have a community TV studio where your neighbors and nonprofit groups that serve Merrimack express themselves and keep you informed through media. If you've ever thought of having a show on Merrimack TV, why wait? You can just email merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov, and myself or Justin Slez will get back to you, and you can book 1 hour of studio time to record up to a 57-minute show. Typically, folks record shows that are between 22 and 27 minutes long. We'd love to see some new faces, have some new voices on the community channel. We also cover a variety of community events. As mentioned earlier, we do a lot of Merrimack High School varsity sports. We've got our home opener this Friday night versus Nashua South. So you can watch that game on Merrimack TV. Our friends at Nashua ETV will also be sharing our coverage with their community. We're excited for that one. Of course, we hope to see a Merrimack win, but we wish the best of luck to Nashua South, and we welcome their fan base to join us as well. The way that I see it is, as long as both teams are having fun, then we're all having a good time. We also like to put a spotlight on local happenings, and we produce segments like the one you just watched about hot dogs for ALZ. We call those Merrimack Moments. What they do is they shine a spotlight on the people, places, and events that make our community special. And we feel that you truly are special, and we thank you for watching Merrimack TV tonight. Tonight we're presenting live election night coverage, and as we await results from the town moderator, Lynn Christensen, we're pleased to bring you some more of this very special programming. In just a bit, you're going to watch Town Councilor Nancy Harrington interview Steve Dembo and Larry from the John O'Leary Adult Community Center. That's part of our Become Involved series. You'll also be treated by another performance by some Merrimack High School musicians. This time around, it will be the Jazz Band doing the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And I was there for that one, and let me tell you, that concert truly rocked. The Jazz Band at the high school is simply outstanding. But right now, we're going to take a look at the future of our town's history with John Listoka, the president of the Merrimack Historical Society, and featuring our town manager, Paul McCallie, in this very special Merrimack moment.
If there's one thing you think of when you hear Historical Society, it's history. The past can be a valuable resource for the present, and they aim to recognize, use, and protect those resources. In Merrimack, there's over 275 years' worth, and the Merrimack Historical Society is taking some forward-thinking steps to help them achieve those goals, starting with their new offices at 10 Depot Street. Society President John Listoka walked us through the history of the building.
It's called Schoolhouse Number 3, and it used to be up on Route 3 where Hot Rise Bagel is, up just a little north of Axel's. And in 1951, it was moved to this location at 10 Depot Street. And my father was one of the people that actually moved this building. And so it's here now, and we have occupancy permit just a short time ago. So we're excited to be showing this off.
Looking around their new old office, you can see they have some big plans for the space. They've set up some exhibits with different historical artifacts from various periods in the town's history, from beeswax cylinders to butter churns, to over 100 years of town reports. They've also converted a former classroom into a space for screening videos and presentations. One of the audience members today was longtime resident and town manager Paul McCallie, who took a tour of the building and talked Merrimack history with us.
I've been a resident of the town of Merrimack since 1976, and there's always something new to learn about the history of Merrimack. Every time I talk to one of the historians, they have something new to share. whether it's a story about the river or whether it's a story about a building. It's fascinating from when we were first settled to being 4 villages to being one community and one town.
You can see firsthand how much of the past, up through the present, has been cataloged at their new office. But Lastoka's vision for what they can offer doesn't end there.
Being a historical society, people look at, gathering history, preserving history, and that's exactly what we do. But today, what we're doing is we're moving into the future. And for us to save history going into the future, we need technology. So we brought high-speed internet here. Everything is computerized. Sessions and objects are all going to be digitized locally here that you can research right here in the building and hopefully someday go online with them. We're doing presentations with a brand new 4K TV you can cast up to. It's not your Aunt Millie's Teacup Historical Society anymore.
Thanks for watching.
All right, now it's for something completely different. We have a Gordon Goodwin piece called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Hi, thank you for joining us on Become Involved, a series designed to focus on community boards and committees. I am Nancy Harrington, one of your 7 Merrimack Town Councilors, and I am the liaison to the John O'Leary Adult Community Center. The 2 very important people with me today are the chair of the executive board, Larry Vagetzi, and the facility coordinator, Steve Dembow. Thank you both for coming.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Now, Steve, I'd like to ask you a question to start off. Can you tell me about the O'Leary Center, the building? I know you've been involved with the building. You know a little bit about the history.
Well, I've been involved for 21 years, and the building has a lot of history in the town. It was originally built in either the early 1900s or 1860 somewhere, depending upon what material you read. It was built originally as a 2-room schoolhouse, dubbed Schoolhouse Number 9. And it served the needs of students from grades 1 through 8. But by the year 1948, several other schools were built around town, so it served only the 8th grade at that time. Its last use as a school was in 1971 when the superintendent's office moved across the street to the school complex. And at that time, the building was converted to the police station, which was in existence at that time when I moved to town in 1979. Outgrowing that facility, they moved across the street to the town hall complex on the 1st floor until that space became unusable for them, so they moved to the present building where they are today. When the building was finally vacated in the early 80s, some of the townsfolk decided that it might be an appropriate use for the building to convert it into an adult community center or something for a place for the seniors to recreate, to meet, to have social functions, and so on and so forth. So a group of the citizens who represented various fraternal and civic groups in town, notably one of them, John O'Leary, who was a member of the Rotary Club, got behind this initiative and with the help from a lot of the other organizations in town, got a proposal put together. The citizens voted upon this idea, and the funding was put in place for an expansion, which took place in the early 80s. And at that time, it became a meeting place for various groups, such as the Merrimack Senior Citizens Club, which had been in existence prior to, and meeting in various other locations. Also, the Rotary Club became a tenant, as was the Meals on Wheels program, at that time known as St. Joseph Community Services. Since that time, the building has evolved and grown, and we have had a variety of tenants in the building, both on a recurring and a one-off basis. It is available for rent when it's not used by either the seniors or the other contracted tenants who are in the building. And it's an excellent place, local, and recently refurbished and brought up to code, up to state, with all kinds of amenities to help us deal with the present coronavirus situation in terms of sanitation and cleanliness.
Excellent. Thank you. Larry, can you tell us a little bit about the executive board, what it does, what's its purpose?
Sure, Nancy. The executive board, according to our constitution and bylaws, allows for 18 members of the township to volunteer to run the actual organization, the John O'Leary Community Center. The town of Merrimack owns the actual building and the facility and the property around it. We manage the building and the activities within it. As Steve said, we conduct a lot of functions. We have regular groups such as a Rotary and other groups, Meals on Wheels, meet there. We also do one-off functions like weddings, baby baptisms, showers, things like that. Our board of directors meets on a monthly basis. We go over the business of what's going on with rentals, the condition of the building, anything that we have to do with the town. And let me just throw in here, it has been a great relationship with the town of Merrimack. It's a great partnership. We truly enjoy working with everybody and with you. But again, the board is a group of volunteers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Larry mentioned this partnership, if I may, and indeed it is a partnership. Without the assistance from the town in terms of helping us out with a subsidy along the way as we go through each fiscal year, the board has encouraged the adoption of means by which we can become more and more independent, and through very opportune rental functions and events, we generate income, and that is used to pay the operating expenses of the building, the utilities, the furnishings, and all the stuff inside the walls. The town does support the building to the extent of the physical plant and structure of the building and so on. But it is a definite partnership, and we really could not be able to operate this building without the support of the town.
Excellent. Now, Larry mentioned about rentals. What kind of rentals are involved with the building?
Well, if they are appropriate and legal, we're happy to host events that, as Larry mentioned, vary anywhere from, and we've had over the years, all kinds of family get-togethers, gatherings, anniversaries, weddings, Sweet 16s. The Rotary Club had been a tenant for many years. We have a very vibrant group of folks from the Alcoholics Anonymous Bedford Merrimack Honesty Group, which meet there on Sunday. Meals on Wheels has been a tenant since the very beginning, and we have a kitchen that they utilize for preparing, or I should say packaging prepared foods that come in from a caterer, and then they're distributed out to the town by volunteer drivers. We've had
But a lot of the community members can rent the building.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
For individual events.
Whatever. Okay. Yes. And I fund those inquiries. I should say field those inquiries on a regular basis. Okay. People contacting me either online or by my phone.
So you would be the one involved in planning, getting information about, and in planning any event they might want to book with you.
So in essence, I maintain the calendar. Okay. So in conjunction with the monthly tenants that we have, I'm aware of the spaces that are available, the dates and times, and I'm able to effectively communicate that to a potential tenant to let them know whether or not the facility is open for the time and the type of event that they'd like to have.
Perfect.
You know, it's interesting, Nancy, that as we talk about rentals, unfortunately, we went through and we're still going through this COVID experience, but when everything was shut down approximately a year, 16 months ago, we used that opportunity to completely refurbish the center. Starting off with the bathrooms, we completely gutted the bathrooms, all new facilities, touchless water, new floors, new stalls. We then moved into the kitchen, replaced the flooring there. All the walls have been painted, new ceilings were put in, lights and sconces. To help deal with the COVID issue, what we've done is we've put in 2 air purifying systems that run 24 hours a day. They're NASA-grade air purification systems. Working with the town and our health and safety inspector identified those. In addition, we also have sanitation, hand sanitizer stations all over the building. So we did use that opportunity to completely redo the building to make it that much more appealing for people that want to use the facility.
Perfect. I'm really glad you brought that renovations up. It's taking advantage of a terrible situation.
Oh, yes.
But you did really great on that. Okay, to finish up, Larry, can you tell us any last words you'd like to say about the executive board or any needs that you might have?
Sure, Nancy. As I mentioned earlier, our Constitution bylaws allows for 18 concerned citizens that are willing to help and volunteer to be on our board of directors. It takes approximately an hour and a half, at the most 2 hours a month. We meet on a monthly basis to conduct our business. If you go to the town website and look under the Park and Recs department, you'll see a link to our website. In addition, if you're not comfortable with the computer, you can just go to our building, and on the door is Steve's contact information. You can contact him directly. We do have openings. We're looking for citizens that want to get involved. It's a great group. I feel very privileged to be part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Again, thank you for joining us on Become Involved. As you can see, this is one board within the community that we are helping to become aware in the community. And it's very important for you to have access. Again, the town website is merrimacknewhampshire.gov. And remember, we want you to become involved.
And that was Become Involved, a new series that we produced really throughout the past few months, and we started airing them at the beginning of the summer. We worked with the town manager's office and the town council on that one. Become Involved is a series that's aimed to maybe teach you something that you just don't know about the municipality, about how the town is governed and the different boards and committees, volunteer committees that you can join and help shape the future of Merrimack. And that episode was with Councilor Nancy Harrington, interviewing a couple of the gentlemen from the John O'Leary Adult Community Center. Their board, they're slightly different than a lot of boards. Our guests were Steve Dembo and Larry V. Before that, we saw the Merrimack High School Jazz Band performing Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That was such an awesome performance, such an awesome night. Seeing Patricia Cunningham lead the jazz band one more time before she retired. We've played that one quite a bit on Channel 21 and HD 1071. So many talented young musicians in this community. And we get such a kick out of covering those concerts. The sports are a great time, and those concerts are just unbelievable. If you ever get a chance to see the Merrimack High School Band perform in the gymnasium at the high school, I say go for it. If it's been a while, or if you don't, even if you don't know anyone, even if you don't have a friend or a family member in the band, you probably have a neighbor. Check it out. Such a killer band over there. Love it. That was Attack of the Killer Tomatoes from last year's jazz band concert. And before that, you saw a Merrimack moment entitled The Future of Our Town's History, and it featured John Listoka, the president of the Merrimack Historical Society. John and the crew at the Historical Society there, Chuck Mower, have a program on the community channel. It's hosted by Wendy Thomas. And it's great. And if you have an idea for a community channel show, we'd love to have some new faces, hear some new voices on the channel. You could book up to 1 hour of studio time to produce a show for the channel. And that's whether you're if you're a resident, or if you want to express yourself and communicate your interests, or you can have a show on the channel. We've got some fantastic shows on the community channel. I'm not allowed to pick favorites, but one show in particular that I really like is called Less Leg, More Heart. And Tina, from the nonprofit group of the same name, she records that program, and it really, what they do is they kind of detail, how to enrich the lives of amputees. Unbelievable. Check it out on the community channel. It's called Less Leg, More Heart. We have so many great community channel programs. If you go to merrimackTV.com, you can check out the schedule, and it's a good way to meet your neighbors and also find out more about some of the nonprofit groups that are here in town. We know that we have Rotarians. The Rotary Club is fairly present on the community channel as well. You're watching Merrimack TV. Merrimack TV is the branded name for the town of Merrimack's media division. I'm Nicholas LaValle, the town of Merrimack's media services coordinator. Joining me at the Town Hall Community TV studio is our media assistant, Colin Marr. He's making sure that our live stream stays steady, the audio is good, and of course he's actually queuing up these clips. He's the one playing these clips. And all these clips, by the way, were assembled by our Assistant Media Services Coordinator, Justin Slez, who also was a big hand in helping me set up the production equipment here tonight. And you just saw this guy. You just saw Steve Dembo on that become involved, and here he is. He's just entered the room. But as I was saying, Merrimack TV has gavel-to-gavel coverage of nearly every municipal board and committee meeting. We cover school board, budget committee meetings. We have a community TV studio at Town Hall where your neighbors and nonprofit groups express themselves and keep you informed through media. We cover a variety of community events like the Merrimack High School varsity sports, concerts, and just in general local happenings. We also produce segments, like you watched earlier, Merrimack Moments, that shine a spotlight on the people, places, and events that make our community special. And I feel that you truly are special, and we thank you for watching Merrimack TV tonight. As you can see, we are here at the J. Muse Gymnasium. You've got Town Manager Paul McCallie talking to the boys in blue, Chief Brian LeVake. And what we're doing here is we're just waiting for preliminary results from our town moderator. There she is, Lynn Christensen. There are community volunteers here. They are working hard, and they've been working hard all day, and I can attest this room was hot. Heck of a lot of humidity today. And I personally want to thank the volunteers who helped our town clerk department and Lynn Christensen, the town moderator, all day here at J. Muse and the other polling locations as well. They just did an outstanding job. Didn't seem to be any issues or problems, and everyone who wanted to vote definitely had a chance to and got through the door. It was nice to see. Tonight we're presenting live election night coverage. And as we await results from Lynn Christensen, our town moderator, we are pleased to present some special programming. In just a bit, you're going to see Town Councilor Lon Woods interview Matt Kasparius, the Town of Merrimack's Parks and Rec Director, with the chairperson of the Parks and Rec Committee, Tracy McGraw, as part of our Become Involved series. Before that, you'll see the Merrimack High School Concert Band and the Merrimack High Chorus combo perform Battle Hymn of the Republic. I was in the room for that one as well. You're in for a treat with that one. But before that, let's meet a young entrepreneur, Sarah Snavely, who was the organizer of the recent Children's Business Fair that was held down at Watson Park. Let's learn more in this Merrimack Moment.
Here in Merrimack, we're big fans of small business owners, and last Sunday showed that pretty clearly when perhaps the smallest business owners, literally, set up shop at Watson Park. Organizer Sarah Snavely explained what inspired her to host the first Merrimack Children's Business Fair.
My mom has been homeschooling me, and she was trying to find something to match my interest for being an entrepreneur, and the Action Academy Business School is what she found, and they have a program where you can host a fair like this. And when she told me, I really wanted to sign up because I thought it was perfect.
That entrepreneurial spirit was all over the gazebo, from baked goods to art prints to crafts. Kids of all ages sold their wares with a colorful sign and maybe a helpful sibling. For Sarah's part, she sold homemade pillows. We talked to her mom about what it's like to see your daughter coordinate an event of this scale.
It has been actually a blessing, a blessing in disguise. It was extremely difficult. It was a long process, but watching her go to the different businesses, watching her to go to the town hall meeting, ask for a permit to use the public space, then going into the fire department and ask for permits there, going to the police department for a partnership. She has really been immersed in what it means to be a community in this area. And it has been a blessing for our family to do this.
It was pretty impressive seeing all these kids be so independent at such a young age. Logistics can be a pain for adults, but they came with a plan and did good business. You could tell that, if they want to pursue it, they could have a future in this.
I love doing a lot of stuff, and when I'm older, I'm going to own a business, and I'm going to keep it small because I like helping the community get together.
That's certainly a goal we all want to support.
I might have gotten a little carried away, though.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for joining us today on Become Involved, a series that focuses on our community's boards and committees. I am Lon Woods, liaison from the Town Council to the Parks and Recreation Committee. Joining me today is our chairperson, Tracy McGraw, with Matt Kasparius, Director of Parks and Recreation. Tracy, thank you for being here, and Matt as well. Tracy, could you tell us about your committee and some of its purposes?
Sure. Well, we meet to discuss issues relating to Merrimack Town parks, different recreation areas around Merrimack, ball fields, and seeing what we can do to improve them, seeing if we need to find more land for them, just discussing what's going on to see, what we can do to make things a little bit better. We also meet with scouts, both Eagle Scouts as well as Girl Scouts, and we accept proposals from them when they want to do projects, scouting projects, and they'll do them throughout the different parks. A lot of them do happen at Wasserman Park because it's a larger space.
Sure.
So we meet with them, and then we listen to what they have to say. We give them some tips, and then they come and they present them to the town council for review and approval. We tend to invite members of the public. If they want to come and watch a meeting, they're more than welcome to do so. They obviously can also watch it on Merrimack TV. But if they also have a proposal of their own, we do ask that they bring them to Matt first so that he can present it on our agenda, but they're welcome to come in and talk with us.
Okay. Could you talk about a little more about membership and how often you meet?
Usually we meet the third Wednesday of the month. Usually. There are some times when we skip a month because there's very few things going on that particular month, or it's the Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays. But it's usually the third Wednesday of the month, and we meet usually here at Town Hall, or we can meet at another location if there's a conflict, if there's other meetings taking place. As far as the membership is concerned, we have, of course, I'm chair. Matt Kasparius is our director. Christine Lavoie is our co-chair. Michelle Creswell is our secretary. And we have our town council rep, of course.
Thank you.
Lon Woods. Thank you very much. Senior Center rep is Maureen Hall, and that's for the John O'Leary Senior Center. That's across the street. There's the MYA representative, and that's Rick Grenier. There's a school board representative. We had Shannon Barnes. She has, I believe, retired is the best word. She is retired from school board, and she will be retiring from Parks and Recs after a long tenure of service. And we'll miss her. Yes, but we also have Lori Rothaus, who comes in as our school board representative as well. And then we have members that are Jamie Devlin. He's one of our newer members. David Shaw, he's one of our newer members. There's Phil Przybylski. He's one of our new members as well. And Laura Janes was chair, and she is now just a member. And Julie Poole.
Alrighty.
We do have one open space, and we are hoping that we can fill it, but it's a student representative. And that person would be most likely from the high school, who would come in and talk to us about what's going on at the high school and also offer any insight from the student's perspective.
Do you need any special skills or experience to be a member of Parks and Recs Committee?
No. All you need to do is love this town and want to make it better for both living here as well as playing here.
Could you give us some examples of recent decisions and issues, perhaps, that the Parks and Rec Committee has dealt with?
Well, I could start with last night. We had a young man come in as an Eagle Scout who wants to build another Gaga ball pit. Yes.
Okay.
Most of us didn't even know what Gaga Ball was until a couple of years ago, but there's 2 Gaga Ball pits right now at Wasserman, and he would like to come in and build one at Watson Park, I believe, right, Matt?
Correct. Yep.
He's saying that it's just become quite a fun game for everyone to play, so that was his proposal, and you'll be seeing him at Town Council fairly soon, I believe. I think it's next week. But our biggest issues going on right now are Wasserman Park and the beach. And I would like Matt to actually speak a little bit on that, because Matt knows what's going on with the beach, but the beachfront is transformed and it's absolutely gorgeous right now. There's still more work to do, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Matt, you want to fill in some for me?
Matt, thank you.
Sure, thank you. So yeah, we've been undertaking a multi-year approach, trying to slowly improve Wasserman, all of our parks, but we've spent a lot of time focusing on Wasserman. And one of the areas that was identified back when I first got here in 2014 was the beach, and which needed some help. One of the problems we've had is just erosion over the years. We've had, just silt and mud and muck, and, it's just not a really nice place to swim. And so one of the things that we had approved last year through the voters was, one, first to dredge the lake and dredge the swimming area, and just get rid of all that muck and mud and clean it up. And then we rebuilt the shoreline in front of those docks, and we've turned it into a perched beach. And this is something we had to work through the state to get environmental permits and things to do. The other piece of the project that got completed is we're actually replacing our swimming docks.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So you can see that Wasserman Park has a lot of work going on right now, and this has been a lot of time in coming, and it's taken a lot of Matt's direction and his perseverance to get this done. But if you have a chance, I don't know if you've been down there yet. We took a walk down there with our pups, my co-chair and I, and it is gorgeous. And so one of the things that they're also good at, because there's a little hill going down to where that beachfront is, they're going to put some sod or something in there, and then a fence so nobody's crawling down the hill and, having too much fun with that. But it is absolutely gorgeous. So I invite you to come down and take a look at it. But some of the other stuff that we've done also is Watson Park. We've put in the ice skating rink in the wintertime when Mother Nature, works with us. And then in the summertime, we have it set up as a volleyball court in the same area. And that might be where the Gaga ball pit goes. We're still trying to figure that part out. I think that you guys will probably be making that decision when Nick comes and presents it to the town council. We put some fencing up at Watson Park to kind of separate Watson Park from the Souhegan River. Maybe prevent people from going down into the river in that particular area, because it's not the best place to go swimming, shall we say. And then, like I said before, we've also added, thanks to the Eagle Scouts and the Girl Scouts, we've added improvements to Wasserman. We've repaved the tennis courts at Wasserman. And the Eagle Scouts, I will say this, the Eagle Scouts and the Girl Scouts have been very generous with their projects for the dog park.
Yes.
And so that's been absolutely fantastic, because the dog park, although the town does help us, Matt does help us with our dog park, a lot of what we do is by donation and volunteers. So we've been busy.
Yes, I've noticed it's been a very vibrant committee. Matt and Tracy, thank you for joining us today on Become Involved, a series that focuses on our community's boards and committees. If you'd like to learn more, visit the town's website, merrimacknewhampshire.gov, and become involved.
And that was Become Involved. Town Councilor Lon Woods interviewing Matt Kasparius from the Parks and Rec Department with the chairperson of the Parks and Rec Committee, Tracy McGraw. Become Involved is a series that we had worked on with the town manager's office and town councilors, town staff, the chairs and board members of various boards and committees. We worked on that the past couple months to get that ready for the summer, and we premiered a new episode every Friday night. I think from the beginning of July right up until last week, which was Great series, and you can watch all 8 episodes of Become Involved on our YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com/Merrimack TV, there's a Become Involved playlist where you can watch all 8 episodes. Or is it 9? Colin's going to text me and correct me on that. It's either 8 or 9. It might be 8 with a promotional video called Be an Active Citizen, which really details how the town is governed and how the boards and committees interact with the town council, town manager. So check that out. Check out all of the episodes of Become Involved. Other episodes include Bob Best, the chairperson of the planning board. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot doing that series, and I feel that you will as well. Before Become Involved, you watch the Merrimack High School Concert Band and Chorus Combo performing the Battle Hymn of the Republic. That was such an awesome performance. It was so great to be in the gym when they performed together. Outstanding work. There's not enough good I could say about the Merrimack High School music department. Big fan of everyone over there. R.J. Beck is the chorus director who led those students in that song. And, of course, Patricia Cunningham, who has since retired, but her successor is Bunny, and we're interested to see just what she does with the high school band. I'm sure it'll be great. Before the concert band and chorus combo, you met organizer Sarah Snavely, a young entrepreneur who put together the Children's Business Fair that took place in Watson Park a couple weeks ago. And that was a Merrimack moment. Now what you're seeing right now is the J-Muse gym, and obviously polls have closed. And right now you have various volunteers and assistant town moderators like Brian McCarthy is walking around here. And we're just waiting for preliminary results from the town moderator. Maybe Brian could let me know.
She's up there chugging them away.
Not sure. So Lynn is hard at work. And I don't want to guess. That'll get me in trouble if I guess. So I'm not going to guess. But right now there's the ballots from the other polling locations are being brought in by our volunteers, escorted by the Merrimack DPW and I think some of the police officers out there. So we're just waiting for results from Lynn Christensen, the town's moderator, while her volunteers and the town clerk's office do their diligence. And our media assistant, Colin Marr, has corrected me. We had 9 episodes of Become Involved that include the Be an Active Citizen piece. Check those out on our YouTube channel. So we're waiting for preliminary results. I don't want to guess. But we're going to be here. We'll be live on Channel 22. Also HD Channel 1071 if you're watching in Merrimack. You can watch on either channel. You can also stream Merrimack TV. If you go to merrimacktv.com, on the left-hand side, you can click Watch Live, and you can watch our channels 24/7 right there on our website. If you have a streaming device, you can watch Merrimack TV on your Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire device as well. Just download Cablecast ScreenWeave. That's Cablecast ScreenWeave. It's a free app. And you can also watch other Merrimack TV programming on demand through that app as well. So if you're watching on cable and someone else is trying to use the TV, let them have the TV. Pull up your iPad, go to merrimacktv.com. You can also download the Cablecast app on your iPhone or Android device, and you can watch that way. There's so many ways to watch Merrimack TV. We are not just cable. And we are awaiting preliminary results. I want to thank you so much for watching Merrimack TV. That's the branded name for the Town of Merrimack's Media Division. I'm Nicholas LaValle, the Town of Merrimack's Media Services Coordinator. I was joined earlier today by our Assistant Media Services Coordinator, Justin Slez. He helped me set up the production tonight, and it is a production down here to set up and do this for you, and we're definitely happy to do it. We love keeping residents informed. Also joining us tonight on staff is our media assistant, Colin Marr. He's over at the Town Hall TV studio. He's playing these clips. He's inserting these clips. So it takes two of us to cover this event tonight. We're happy to do it. We plan on bringing you midterm elections coverage come November. And we're here every April. We cover, in March, we cover both the town and school deliberative session. And the past couple years, we've brought you election night results live on Merrimack TV, and we're gonna try that out with the midterm election for the first time this November. Throughout the year, we record gavel-to-gavel coverage of nearly every municipal board and committee and school board and budget committee meeting. We have a community TV studio where your neighbors and nonprofit groups express themselves and keep you informed through media. So if you ever thought about having a show, stop thinking about it, start doing it. Just email merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov. You can book 1 hour of studio time to create a show. We make it real easy for you to do. We just want you to use our resources to get on the channel and express yourself. Or if you're a nonprofit group that serves Merrimack, we'd love to have you on. We've had the Lions Club tape shows, Rotary Club. We have a program called Less Leg, More Heart by a nonprofit group of the same name. Tina produces that show. I learned so much watching that show, and she just has such a great sense of humor. She's been a great addition to the community channel lineup. If you haven't seen that show, you got to check it out. Check out all of our shows. Let Freedom Ring with Dan Bolio. Dan's just a resident who wanted to interview some of his buddies and produce a show, and he's had all kinds of fantastic guests. Wrestlers, rappers, folks from all over the state, different interests. It's so unique. So unique. We've got... Just go to merrimackTV.com and click on channel 22. Click on the community channel and check out the schedule and find a show. Other segments we produce, like our Merrimack Moments you saw earlier, that shine a spotlight on the people, places, and events that make our community special. You truly are special, and we thank you so much for watching Merrimack TV tonight. I know I've got a few people watching tonight. Kiki and Rover are watching tonight. Hanging out with their mom. Thanks for watching, Kiki and Rover. We cover a variety of community events like MHS varsity sports, concerts, local happenings like you saw earlier. But tonight, we're presenting live election night coverage. And as we await results from the town moderator, Lynn Christensen, we're pleased to present some special programming. In just a bit, you're going to watch another episode of Become Involved, featuring Paul McCallie, our town manager, interviewing the Community Development Director, Tim Thompson. And they're going to talk about the Zoning Board of Adjustment and exactly what the Zoning Board does, their responsibilities, and how you may become involved. So check that out. Before that, we're going to listen to the MHS Concert Band once again performing I think it's a fan favorite. They do it quite a bit. Overture to Candide. But right now, you're in for a treat. And I know Kiki and Rover are going to love this too. You're about to meet Mac, the Merrimack Police Department comfort dog, and his partner, Officer Amanda, in this very special Merrimack moment.
It's the dog days of summer here in Merrimack, but that's not entirely because of the hot, sunny days. At the Merrimack Police Department, it's thanks to their newest, smallest officer, Mac, the MPD Comfort Dog. His handler, Officer Mandy Groves, talked to us about how the little guy came to be employed by the MPD.
Seeing that other police departments have it and it's becoming a big push for mental health for first responders, that was kind of the catalyst for us to get our own Comfort Dog. Mac is an American Lab. He's 10 weeks, 10 pounds, 10 weeks. He's a very relaxed dog from what we've seen. He hasn't jumped or nibbled at anything. So he's very, very young and just a baby, but he's really good. And he's already made such a big impact, even the first couple days that we've had him. The community has been really, really supportive, and just seeing everybody light up when they see him is really good.
Right now, Mac does a lot of sleeping on the job. But over the course of about a year, he'll do obedience training, canine good citizen training, and therapy dog training. If you'd like to meet him yourself, Mac will be brought to various town events to meet residents too, with the next being National Night Out on August 2nd. If you'd like some more positivity on your social media feeds, sorry about that, you can search for Mac on Facebook at Mac the MPD Comfort Dog and Instagram at MPD Comfort Dog. Thanks for watching.
The first piece we're going to play is Candide.
Hello, and welcome to another installment of Become Involved. My name is Paul McCallie. I am the town manager for the town of Merrimack. With me today, I have Tim Thompson, the Community Development Director, and we're here to talk to you about the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Hello, Tim.
Afternoon, Paul. How are you?
Good, good. Tim, what is the Zoning Board of Adjustment?
The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a statutorily required board for any community that has a zoning ordinance. Merrimack has had zoning since the 1950s, which divides the town into multiple residential, commercial, and industrial districts and determines how development takes place in those zones. The Zoning Board is the board that allows for relief from those standards in unusual circumstances. It's essentially a relief valve for when an applicant or a property owner needs to be able to do something that our regulations don't allow for.
Do they meet often, or once a month, 3 times a month, every week?
The Zoning Board meets 12 times a year, so once a month. It's the last Wednesday of each month at 7 o'clock here in the Matthew Thornton room at Town Hall. Meetings usually run an hour to a couple hours, depending on the volume of applications that we see, but it's generally a once a month, unless there's unusual circumstances where we need to call a special meeting.
Okay. And the type of, when you talk about applications, what are they dealing with? Are they dealing with, like, I want to build a garage, or?
It's a variety of things. For example, probably the most common thing the zoning board deals with is a variance for a property setback. Every district has certain distances that you need to be from a property line when you're constructing an addition to your home or a new structure. A lot of times, especially if the lot is older or has an unusual shape, a property owner may not be able to meet those setbacks, so they have the ability to come to the board and ask the board to grant them relief from that requirement. And if the board were to grant it, then they would be able to move through the permitting process.
Great. So if I want to volunteer for the zoning board, how do I do that?
I'd always suggest that if you have an interest in any planning or zoning topic, feel free to stop by at the Community Development Office at the lower level of Town Hall. Myself and my staff are always more than willing to talk about what it is that the boards and commissions do in town. For the zoning board specifically, you don't need to have any special expertise, just an interest in serving your community. We certainly can bring everybody up to speed in terms of what the roles and responsibilities are, provide training opportunities, and make sure that you know what you're doing before you get up in front of those cameras.
Okay. And you talked a little bit about training. Is there other training available through other agencies?
Absolutely. We partner with the state of New Hampshire. They have an Office of Strategic Initiatives. They provide training opportunities for board members throughout the year, both online in webinars and in person at workshops and conferences. We're also members of the New Hampshire Municipal Association, which is a advocacy group for all municipalities in the state, and they also offer those types of training opportunities as well.
Oh, so basically you learn about the law.
Exactly.
Okay. And what kind of roles are in this committee? Are there full-time or alternates?
Sure. The zoning board is by statute 5 full-time members that are appointed by the town council here in Merrimack. And then we have the opportunity of having up to 3 alternate members. Alternates can fully participate in the meeting, ask questions, participate in the discussion on the applications. However, unless they're appointed for a missing member, regular member, those alternates don't actually vote, but they can still participate in the process.
So if I heard you correctly, our full-time are appointed for a 3-year period?
Yep.
And
Every board member in Merrimack for the zoning board is appointed for a 3-year term. They're staggered so that we don't have the entirety of the board turning over every couple of years. And those 2-year terms, as we said, are every June the council goes through an appointment process for those terms.
Okay. Is there anything else? You know, we touched base a little bit about the zoning board and what they do, and we talked about a variance of a lot line, but it's also they also do variances for commercial, industrial,
Right.
and residential and
There
things of that sort.
are several different basic powers that the zoning board has. Variances are the most common. That's when an applicant is looking to do something that's specifically not allowed by the regulations. There's also a process called a special exception. Those are for different uses or types of development that are allowed, provided you meet certain conditions. The next thing that they do is we'll hear what are called appeals of administrative decision. So if our building inspector or planning and zoning administrator were to make a determination interpreting the ordinance that you don't agree with, you have the ability to appeal that to the zoning board, who can basically weigh the merits of that and determine whether or not the decision was correct. And then the last power that they have is what's called an equitable waiver of dimensional requirements. And that's a specific state law that when you have structures or things that don't meet a setback requirement, or a lot that doesn't meet a lot size requirement but has existed for a length of time without any violations or anything like that, there's a specific process under state law that allows the board to grant those in a much more easier fashion.
Sounds like a lot of interesting information and a lot of interesting details they handle.
The zoning board doesn't quite have the same breadth of responsibilities as the planning board does. They are very narrowly focused on those appeal processes that are set forth in state law, and every board member becomes very familiar with what they call the 5 points of law, which is, in a variance case, there's a state law that says these are the 5 things that must be met in order for the zoning board to grant.
Great. Thank you for joining me today, Tim. I want to thank everybody for watching us. Hopefully you learned some more information about our Zoning Board of Adjustment. And if you'd like to become more involved, please visit the Town of Merrimack's website, www.merrimacknh.gov, and become involved.
You just watched Become Involved with the town manager, Paul McCallie, and our community development director, Tim Thompson, talking about the Merrimack Zoning Board of Adjustment, what the zoning board does, and how they interact with the council, and also how you could become involved. If you go to merrimacknh.gov, you can find a link there on how to become involved. Take a look at all the different boards and committees that have vacancies. Think about whether there's any of those board or committees that pique your interests, or if it's something new that you want to learn about. Consider signing up, applying, throwing your hat in the ring to be on the zoning board or one of our other boards and committees. Before that, we saw the MHS concert band performing Overture to Candide, which I'm almost positive is kind of a fan favorite. I know they've performed that song quite a bit over the past few years. Excellent job. Can't say enough good about the young musicians here in our community. Just fantastic work over there. The music directors are outstanding. RJ Beck is the chorus director. What a guy. Unbelievable. And the same can be said for Patricia Cunningham, who is retired, but her successor, Bunny Sarita, is going to do a fantastic job, I'm sure. We look forward to working with them. And before that, you met, well, one of the police department's newest hires. And I don't think it'd be inappropriate to say that he's got to be the cutest. For sure, Mac, the Merrimack Police Department comfort dog. And his handler, Officer Groves, Amanda Groves. I follow Mac, the comfort dog, on Instagram, and I think you should too. 100%. That's some A-plus content over there. I'm Nicholas LaValle. I'm the Town of Merrimack's Media Services Coordinator. You're watching Merrimack TV's live election night coverage of the state primary. Right now on your screen, there's Lynn Christensen, our town moderator, sitting with Brian McCarthy, one of her assistant moderators. And there's a lot going on in this room. There's quite a bit going on. And I wish I could guess which time we'll hear the preliminary results, but I don't want to play guessing games. I know that the police department and the DPW brought over the ballots from the other polling locations not too long ago. So those are now here at JMUS. And I know that Lynn and Brian and their team... Oh, Lynn just gave me a thumbs up. So in just a moment, we will have live results. Stay tuned. Here it comes.
Not right now.
Oh, I got another number.
Brian McCarthy's about to check the mic.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1. Testing 1 2. Testing. Testing. Okay, Nick.
Lynn Christensen, our town moderator, is about to give us our preliminary results.
Nick? Ready to go? I'll drive you all crazy. I'm going to do the Democrat first because they're the shortest. Sherman, 512. Ruggieri, 20. Hassan, 1192. Croftman, 51. Apologies if I don't pronounce them right. Pappas, 1221. Kelly, 1164. Shandley, 1175. All right, your state reps: Stack, 1053. Thomas, 1091. LaRue, 1010. Locke, 1022. Manning, 1013. Murphy, 1114. Plant, 1022. Rung, 1136. Got a bunch of blank ones, and then Register of Deeds: Crowell, 1123. Probate, Brick, 1107. And County Commissioner Julie, 1099. Total Democrat ballots cast, 1285. All right, guys, here you go. Ready? Governor, McMenamin, 25. Riley, 212. Sununu, 2288. Testerman, 298. Asiard, 50. Lewis, 18. Bolduc, 1227. Fenton, 130. Lamar, 19. LaPlante, 12. Mashramani, 294. Martin, 13. Morse, 815. 19. Smith, 315. Boulogne, 11. Bourbon, 12. Congress, Mowers, 878. Prescott, 273. Rondeau, 30. Town, 14. Alcier, 18. Baxter, 346. Brown, 417. Kilbane, 10. Levitt, 800. Maxwell, 40. On to Executive Counselor Dave Wheeler, 2091. Ann Kopp, 466. State Senator Daniels, 1937. Frechette, 555. Hang on a minute. All right, state reps. Boyd, 1811. Barbara Healy, 1588. Bob Healy, 1691. Mayville, 1516. Magoo, 1829, Mooney, 1829, Nodder, 1901, Snow, 1338, Blasek, 1665. Sheriff Connolly, 2216. County Attorney Coughlin, 2195. Treasurer Fredette, 2145. Deeds, Sapienza, 278. Hogan, 1001. Moreau, 793. Probate, Graham, 2109. County Commissioner Rowe, 2058. And delegates, Frechette, 1610. Heald, 1441. Houlihan, 1393. Lessius, 1339. Rutsky, 1354. Von Schoen, 1238. Weisman, 1269. Woodman, 1395. And Dangle, 1330. Total Republicans cast, 2935. Total votes cast, I was way off. We had 4220. Not bad, Merrimack.
You mentioned that we had about the total amount of ballots cast today was 4,220.
Right.
Right. And of those ballots, there was just under 3,000 Republican ballots.
Republicans, yep.
And just about 1,300
Democrats.
Democrat
So that's
ballots.
that's a 3-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
Which is expected because the Democrats had really no contested races. They had a number of races that had nobody running. The only thing was our local races, and it was more a matter of they're all going to get on the ballot. It's more a matter of talking points, and well, I was the top one there, and I was third, and
Sure.
so. But all 8 Democrats will go on the November ballot, general election
Right.
ballot, under the Democratic column.
Right.
Now the Republicans are a little different because they also had the possibility of putting 8 people in the seats, but they had 9 people running.
Right.
So you had 8 people out of those 9 are going to go on to the November ballot under the Republican column for state rep, and then you'll have 16 people running for 8 seats.
So out of those 9 Republican candidates that were running for 8 seats, which candidate will not be on the November ballot?
Brian Snow.
Okay. So Brian Snow will not be moving to the November ballot.
Correct.
Okay. And the reason why I wanted to stress that was, you know, Merrimack TV is hyper-local. We are a division of the town of Merrimack. We're a division under the general government side of things. We are municipal employees, and we're doing this to inform residents on what's happening.
And you do such a great job, and we love you guys.
Thank you so much for saying that, Lynn. I'm going to take that personally. We love you too. And myself, on behalf of the Merrimack TV, myself, Justin Slez, our Assistant Media Services Coordinator, and Colin Marr, our Media Assistant, we were here earlier setting up, and we recognize the hard work that you and the Town Clerk's Office and all of your volunteers.
My entire team.
Right, so is there anything you want to say to your team of volunteers who work today?
Thank you, guys. I'm going to expect you back in November.
I don't know if the weather's got to be better. We'll take the chill. But
I'm hoping this room will not be as hot.
This was a hot one today
Yeah.
when we were setting up the gear earlier. That's why I especially wanted to thank the volunteers who assisted in this election today. It was just so humid out, and you know, when I came here earlier to set up our gear, it was all smiles. Everyone was in a good mood, and it seemed to go so smooth, and I think that's testament to just how well you run the show here.
Well, they've all been doing it. Most of them have been doing it for quite a while. They love what they're doing. They enjoy being here, and we just have a good time. The crew is just phenomenal.
So thanks to all of the volunteers And thank you, Lynn. If there's once again, I just want to reiterate that out of all of the out of the ballots tonight, what we were most interested in covering was which on the Republican
town,
side
yep.
there was a contested.
Yep.
That was a contested race. There were 8 seats, 9 candidates. So Brian Snow won't be moving to November ballot. I think all the candidates, no matter which party you're affiliated with, I think everyone worked really hard and has worked really hard on their campaigns.
And they're going to work even harder to get one of those 8 slots because there's 16 of them.
That's right. There's 16 candidates running. So, and I'm sure we'll see more of them on Merrimack TV. We often
I'm
do.
sure.
And I want to thank you for watching tonight. I'm sure Lynn wants to thank you for watching our live election night coverage.
And I want to thank you for coming out and voting. There were more people voting than I expected. So that's a good thing.
Great. Well, then, Lynn, we'll see you in November.
I'm sure.
All right.
Thank
care.
you much, Nick.
Thanks for all that you do. Thank you. I need to apologize for not having on the camera on Lynn, and we didn't have audio there for the first part of our conversation, so I apologize. It's a one-man show here tonight, and it happened so quick, and I'm kind of juggling probably the job of like 3 or 4 different people, but I'm glad that we caught that. Once again, thanks for Colin for texting me and saying, hey, turn on Lynn's mic. Just so much going on here. Thank you so much for watching our programming this evening. Again, if you want to learn more about Merrimack TV, just go to merrimacktv.com. If you're interested in having a show, just email merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov. Thanks for watching our election night coverage, and it's happening. Merrimack TV. Have a good night.